Hi, we're here with Ryan Szrama, who is the Vice President of Community Development at Commerce Guys.
Yep.
And Ryan, you gave the keynote speech this morning all about Drupal commerce. And do you think you could give us a couple of highlights on what's coming up?
Yeah, gosh, so much is going on with commerce right now. We just did our 1.0 at London, and that was kind of the big highlight, I guess, of the year was the 1.0 release, and then also announcing a support partnership with Acquia, where we'll provide professional, like SLA level support for enterprises and big e-commerce sites that need somebody on the phone or with a page or whatever. So that's exciting because it really legitimizes the project, and other things that help to legitimize the project to the sort of broader e-commerce world are things like the definitive guide to Drupal 7, which is training people on how to use commerce, and other technical resources like that. We're looking to do other videos and other sorts of tutorials. And gosh, Randy Fay, I got to plug him because he's done so many video tutorials on Vimeo and the Commerce Guys channel that just show how to do bits and pieces of configuring a commerce site. And so he takes a lot of like the tricky and hard to set up configurations and put those on there. So those are some good things that are going on, and then there's just a lot of really good stuff in Contrib right now with people working on coupon modules and shipping modules. Here at Drupal Camp Atlanta, we have Commerce UPS integration being done as I speak, and I'll be going back to commit some more stuff to that.
Sorry we tore you away.
And then there's always like distributions and other things that are sort of being developed. So I presented this morning this sort of 4-tier plan, I guess, for building Drupal Commerce ecosystem, starting with our solid foundation of Drupal 7 and Drupal Commerce, and then our set of essential contributed modules like shipping and coupons and different types of payment integration and other stuff like that. And then there was distributions, so things like Commerce Kickstart or Mart Plug that take all this stuff together and package it with a good user experience for people that maybe aren't experienced Drupal hackers and site builders and don't know how to put everything together. And then the last step will be, of course, accessible experts and integrators, and that's where support partnerships and trainings and developer partnerships and all that stuff come on. So, I mean, there's a lot moving. It's a lot to stay on top of. But
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have really come a long way from UberCart and really kind of reestablished the building blocks and set it up in a good way.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's been so great about Commerce Guys, and one of the reasons I love working for Commerce Guys is that as an organization, they're so supportive of building Drupal commerce in community. And so whether it's flying people around the world to bring them to our development sprints, or giving us plenty of wine and cheese tastings whenever we visit the Paris office, or anything else, like they're really supportive of developers and of the community and of doing things open and in public and in sort of the community way. So
the wine and cheese actually helps with the development process?
It does, yeah, it actually does help. It gets the creative juices flowing and expands the palate and stuff.
Well, what would you say is one of your favorite parts about Drupal itself?
Oh man, I mean, it's definitely the international collaboration. My first ever experience with the Drupal community was at DrupalCon Barcelona, which I think was in 2008. I got sent there as a wedding gift from my former boss, and he sent me and my wife, and it was like we had been working on UberCart, I guess, in private for maybe a year, almost a year at that time. And I showed up at Barcelona, and everybody knew UberCart, and I had no clue anybody had even heard of it or knew who I was. And like everybody's like, "Hey, we use UberCart, we love it," and why can't it do this and why can't it do that? And so we started adding to it, and so it goes. But it was just that first experience of, wow, I can meet people from all over the world that we're all writing this software together, we're all using it together, we're making it work in markets and places around the world where traditional software maybe doesn't reach. So like with Drupal Commerce, we've had very early adopters in China and Japan and in Brazil and other sort of emerging markets where you don't necessarily see like big e-commerce applications and projects getting a lot of attention overseas. So it's really special to me that we have these contributors that sort of own this stuff in their country. It's like the other major distribution I mentioned, Mart Plug, was developed by a guy named Enrique Hessagive. Say that right?
Say that 3 times fast.
I know, down in Sacramento in Brazil, which is near Sao Paulo and south of a city that I saw was fittingly named Uberlandia.
No kidding.
But he's there in Brazil, and he's written payment gateways for every Brazilian payment processor and has this distribution. He's really like championing commerce for his country, really. Wow. And so it's fun to see that kind of stuff develop.
Much like yourself.
Yes, I champion it for the United States. So that, and then I love visiting Europe. I love Paris. I really love Paris.
We've heard.
Yeah. So that's my favorite part. It's just this sort of international collaboration, and then also like just the level of people that you get. Like we're a lot of us, I guess, are amateurs. I'm not professionally trained as a developer, but I'm very enthusiastic, and I like to learn, and I like to think that I'm growing as a developer, and so to be around a lot of people in that same boat is just really, really nice. So.
Well, now that you've come all the way from UberCard at its early beginnings to kind of where you're at with Drupal Commerce right now, what would you say is one thing that you still like to change about Drupal Commerce?
Oh man, so I already have a Drupal Commerce 2.x battle plans list of things that I'd like to change. Let's see, one thing that I'd like to change. So whenever we started Drupal Commerce, we had this like really hardcore like framework mindset. That we're just providing the commerce integration with rules and with views, and that's that. Like this is where we need to focus our time. But the problem is that like rules and views and fields and entities, like it's just not easy for the casual user to grasp and to sort of run with. And so I've already started in Contrib to maybe build like a little bit of a simplistic UI layer on top of what we have. And I wish that I had that focus a little bit more starting out, so that we had like a simpler tax interface, so that you didn't have to go, watch 3 Vimeo videos to learn how to set up a tax rate.
We love doing it.
Yeah, or like things, we used rules to enable payment methods on the checkout form. So you have conditionally available payment methods, which is really important when you have like a different processor for France than Germany. But we stuffed all of our payment method configuration inside of the rule itself, and now it's hard for us to get that data out and use it elsewhere. So there's some places where I'm seeing that we went like too much framework, and maybe other places where we needed to simplify and maybe separate some stuff out of rules. That all these things are on my battle plans for 2.x, and they'll continue to grow. But gosh, yeah. So that's kind of a non-answer. Like, hey, I have plans to do more stuff, but that's what I would change. Other than that, like I really love it, and I wouldn't change a whole lot. So I wouldn't change the process or the people or the platform or anything like that. But
I would say that your statement about being an enthusiastic developer is maybe an understatement at best. But thanks a lot, Ryan, for your time and for sharing with us. And I'm Kendall Totten with Media Current, and we're at the 2011 Drupal Camp Atlanta.